What do you say? Okay, we're all set.
Okay, it's 1 o'clock. I'm going to call the February 17th Board of Commission meeting to order. Today we'll have the prayer by Commissioner Sarkella, followed by the pledge by Commissioner Eberle.
Dear Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to gather in a free country. We're grateful for the friends and families that we serve. We ask that you would be with us today to allow us to make sound decisions. And thank you, Lord, for the sunshine, because that certainly does lift our spirits. And we ask maybe that you send a little more of that stuff our way. In your most precious Son's name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Leslie, roll call, please.
District 1, Chairman John Black.
Present.
District 2, Commissioner Roger Ballard.
Present.
District 3, Commissioner Gary Heberling.
Here.
District 4, Commissioner Bill Sarkella.
Present.
District 5, Commissioner Christine Lee. Here. District 6, Commissioner Evans Ehart.
Here.
District 7, Commissioner John Moody.
Present.
Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
If there are no corrections or deletions to today's agenda, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
So moved. Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Ballard, supported by Commissioner Ehart to adopt the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Agenda is adopted. At this time, we'll entertain a motion to approve our meeting minutes from our February 3rd meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve our February 3rd, 2026 minute meetings. Meeting minute.
I have a motion from Commissioner Heberling, supported by Commissioner Moody, to approve our meeting minutes from February 3rd. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. You would have received your correspondence from Jody through email the other day. We're going to move into commissioner reports, and we will start with Commissioner Moody.
I had Speaker Township on the 10th. Fire chief was there to do a fire report and they had no runs for the month of January. Their planning commission report was just that they're going to have a meeting they had a meeting on the 11th. He had a new water softener installed in the township hall. They reviewed and voted on the assessor's contract. They did a resolution and moratorium for data centers, artificial intelligence centers, and cryptocurrency centers for 12 months. They looked at a bid for new turnout gear from a FEMA grant that they received, and it was $59,000. They voted no on doing brine at this time on any of the roads in the township for this coming summer. They changed the door lock and they're filling out a grant from Lisa McLean for a new fire truck. And that's about it.
Good. Thank you, John. Do they have a reason for not brining roads?
It was a waste of money last year because after like 3 weeks, it was dusty again. But they only do a single pass. It's a double pass.
And then it all
And
depends
they
on
don't
the
have a
weather.
road budget anymore, a road millage anymore. It's voted down twice 2 years ago.
Oh, the people that want brine, they don't want brine, I guess.
Well, I live in Speaker. I like my brine. Well, you
You still have to apply to your road. You can
If
just-
they're looking to see if there's something different than brine. I don't think there is. I don't know of any.
There is. Blacktop.
Yep.
Cement.
Yeah, and end up like all those second roads in Tuscola County that they paved. And they're in difficult townships now to repave stuff. It's just outlandish.
They didn't actually, I shouldn't say they voted no. It was a motion and there was no second. So, and then they got into the discussion on why. So that's what they've decided to do for this year, at least for now.
Okay. Appreciate the report, John. Evans?
Nothing new.
Okay, I had contact with Delaware Township. Everything up there is business as usual. That's all I have.
I had a meeting with the city of Brown City and a new police officer has been on the job about 6 weeks now. That they give him a presentation because he attempted to save a life. Also, I can't remember his name because he's always going to be Whitey to me because he went to arrest somebody and they were painting and the person had paint tray. And the paint tray went up and he was all white in his taser thing and his gun. He had to clean his gun and ruin his uniform. And it was, and I says, you got to learn to tell him to set that down.
So you now call him Whitey because of that?
Yeah.
How does he feel about it?
One incident for his whole life.
He's gonna be Whitey. They had a resolution for poverty exemption, a resolution for renewal of the park millage, the fire authority, water agreement between the city and the fire authority, the Maple Valley Estates review application. They had a wish list for grants. They would like the fitness course, that they have the equipment, but they need money to install it. The ADA play equipment and a new police department are on their wish list. And they also have one more batch of salt to get. Then I went to Maple Valley Township. They didn't have a quorum, but there was somebody there that wanted to get 600 amps for their barn. So you know what that means.
Mhm.
And the house already has 200 amps and the barn has 200 amps, but they're extending the barn and they want 600 amps, but so that took a while. And so by the time I got done with Maple Valley, I was going to Flint Township and they had a very short meeting because they were already out in the parking lot and they said the meeting went really fast. They didn't have nothing much to discuss, and which is unusual. So that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Christine. Bill?
You showed up and they were done.
Yeah.
Port Sanilac discussed their Harbor Park and streetscape improvements because there's been some funding provided for that through a donation. Fire Authority gave their report, and Bark Shanty Community Center looking at transferring ownership from the school to them, so they have complete maintenance of it. Sand Lake Township rental agreement discussion, and the North Lakeshore property that the health department's been involved with on. They're still observing that because that's that property that might get condemned. There is a dumpster there. They've been unloading a bunch of stuff, but still doesn't seem any movement on paying the water bill and other things that need to be done. And they have a new deputy clerk, and they're upgrading the heating and cooling in their facility. Washington Township discussed their equalization agreement with the county. Data processing center, so looking at some ordinance updates with that as well. And data moratorium at this point in time, and then they're going to be reviewing their ordinances. And they also discussed the MTA principles of government, and then Bridgehampton updating their fee and pay resolutions, and then also their budget and assessor contracts. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Bill. Gary?
Thank you, John. I'm going to give my report, and any questions you can ask Commissioner Sucko. Anyway, last night or
I guess I'll listen to yours then for a change.
That's a good one. March 3rd was a Watertown Township meeting, and I'm just going to go through some of the highlights that was discussed in all of these meetings. So sewer rate, there's going to be an increase for Watertown Township residents. The pad, the checks and meters is now up and working. They're reading meters. They appointed Patrick, I hope I pronounce it right, Kroonemaker, the board of review. They're moving forward with the financial audit, and there is a house on Sullivan Drive, a blight house that they're looking into to either get rid of it or raise it. Moore Township, March 4th. They're looking at putting street lights up on Ubley Road and M19, and the Ubley Road is Snover Road, right? Yeah. There's a church there, and the church is no more there, so they need a light there because it's a bad corner. And then out on 46 and two four-way stops or two-way stops, they're going to put lights up. Talked to Sid about sheriff coverage. As you know, we have different coverage for the sheriff department for different townships, and he asked, what it would take. And I basically said, you probably need to get with Nathan or get with Paul to see how that worked. And then they give a fire report. Last night, the city of Sandusky, they had their public hearing for the 2026-2027 budget. Reported by the chief of police that the EV vehicle, police vehicle,
is in Flint. I think they sit on a rail car somewhere. And they're waiting to take delivery on that. And the next move is to install a charging station for it here in Sandusky. It was also mentioned that new signs and sponsors were put up at the Diamond Trail. Reviewed bid for the Bridgehampton water main coming up and talked about. It was also reported, like I think any other town, lots of water pipes and mains broke this winter. And they talked about the freezing pipes, and they asked a number of residents to leave their water run so they didn't freeze. And then they approved to pay off a 2016 capital improvement bond. And then Monday, it's coming Monday, Custer Township at 5 p.m. They had their board review, and at 6 p.m. the township board meeting. End of my report.
Excellent report, Gary. Roger?
Last Tuesday, I was at Marlette Township. They appointed Yvonne Hovey as assistant airport manager. Their manager is going in for some rather intensive shoulder rebuild, I guess. And they were introduced to the Dairyland Wind people, Apex. That was the first they'd met them, and they started on this project 16 months ago. I thought that was kind of odd that they hadn't shown their faces. But they have leases on 3,000 acres currently and are looking for 12 to 15,000 more. That's about it for Marlette. Later in the week, I went to Argyle. They approved 2% increases for the township elected and appointed officials. And they approved the county agreement for equalization in their printing, and also had a very long, quiet discussion on battery storage ordinance. And then last night I was in Lamont Township, and they had a pretty good discussion on the community project grant that goes through Lisa McLean's office. I've been pushing this on them for a couple of years, and they're finally going to apply for one for their fire hall. So I was happy to hear that. I hope to have a resolution in time for the next meeting supporting that project. And they approved payment of bills, and that was it.
Okay, thank you, Roger. Appreciate everyone's commissioner reports. Nate?
Here on block, I forgot to mention, we have the mayor of Sandusky here,
Okay,
Tom Machedas, and we have Todd that's been here many times. He's a councilman. They come to attend our meetings today.
good. Welcome, guys. Good to see you. Nate?
They here for punishment.
They're here to keep an eye on you and I.
Okay.
Yeah, you got,
That's what they told me.
Your administrator report?
Yes, thank you. So a couple things. I know I did send an update out Friday before the long weekend on some other items, but one thing I wanted to alert you guys, we had a meeting on the Port Sanilac Lofts and Wellness Center out in obviously Port Sanilac. Wagon builders are looking to get that moving, and it sounds like between the grants and the brownfield work, they're going to be able to, or they are in the process of moving everything forward. Very tentative with construction projects, but she's hoping by the end of April that they can be kind of breaking ground. But again, there's a lot of things at play. I think the article in the paper summarized the grant they received last week too. So, like I said, that'll be a good addition for the village of Port Sanilac. And then just a reminder, we do have our for the townships and villages, our multi-county materials management planning meeting this Thursday at 6 o'clock at the BOC building. So notices were sent to each municipality and township on that. So we'll see what sort of attendance we get.
Are you guys going to try to track that attendance to some degree, just so we know who,
We could do that. Yeah.
just a rough idea,
Yeah.
like what municipality are you representing? So we just have a list of the municipalities.
I'm sure there'll be a sign-in sheet, and I know Mike, we'll probably keep,
Okay.
we'll keep track.
That would be super helpful.
Yeah.
Because if this comes back around and we're gonna do more of this, if any of us commissioners need to talk to townships, it'd be good to know which ones had already attended those meetings in the past.
I've had, I don't know about you, other commissioners, but I've had, I've been reporting this from G1 when I took over for Bill. And some are interested in it, some, hey, we're not putting a dime in it, we're not gonna get involved in it, so.
Mhm.
And that may all change, we get a new governor anyway,
Right.
And that's all I have.
That's it. Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Nathan? Seeing none, we will move on. Thank you for your report, Nathan.
Yep.
At this time, I'm going to call for public comments pertaining to the agenda. Are there any public comments pertaining to the agenda today? Seeing none, we are going to move on. I see no need for appointments to standing committees, commissioner appointments, or county chair appointments. So we're going to drop directly into general resolutions. And today Evans is going to have a resolution for the Lexington Park Accessibility Plan.
Whereas St. Lake County supports the submission of the application titled Park Accessibility Plan, the Michigan Department of Natural Resources Trust Fund Development Program for the Development of Accessibility Improvements at Lexington Park located in St. Lake County. And whereas St. Lake County is hereby making a financial commitment to the project in an amount of $306,868 matching funds in cash and or force account. And now therefore be resolved, the St. Lake County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes the submission of the Michigan Natural Resources Trust Development Program application for $613,736. And be it further resolved that St. Lake County shall make available its financial obligation amount of $306,868, 50% of the total project cost during the 2026-2027 fiscal year.
I have a resolution offered by Commissioner Ehart. Is there support?
Support.
Was that you, Roger?
Nope.
Oh, Bill.
Bill, Christine.
I have a
I'm sorry.
I'll go with Bill.
resolution offered by Commissioner Ehart, supported by Commissioner Sarkella. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Leslie, roll call, please.
Commissioner Ehart.
Yes.
Commissioner Sarkella.
Yes.
Commissioner Heberling.
Yes.
Commissioner Lee.
Yes.
Commissioner Black.
Yes.
Commissioner Ballard.
Yes.
And Commissioner Moody.
Yes.
Okay, resolution is adopted. Thank you, Leslie. That's going to complete resolutions for today. So that's going to drop us into, we start out with Commissioner Ballard today.
I have nothing this week.
Okay. Commissioner Heberling?
Yeah, we had a personnel meeting this morning and approved a position. And I know, John, you want to talk about that a little bit later. As Nathan already advised, tomorrow morning I have a MMPC meeting in Carroll. And also Joanne from Recycle is part of that. Dave Faber, city manager, is part of that. So we have our monthly meeting tomorrow at 10, and then tomorrow night we have our informational meeting here at 95 Dawson. Also, we have a parks meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock. I don't know how I'm going to do both. Both it start at 10 o'clock, but our personnel committee from the Parks Board is going to be looking at people that have applied for the Forester Park position, and we're going to be looking at them tomorrow. And in my report, thank you.
Gary, do you have any idea how many applicants they received for that position?
I believe the last I heard, our last meeting, it was 3, possibly 4, and
Okay.
they've got a couple that look fairly well.
Good.
So we're excited, and yeah.
Very good. Thank you, Gary. Bill?
Pension met last Thursday. Pension plan is on target. We also approved a working after retirement policy that had to be something that needed to be on the books. So if someone retires and wants to come back, they can actually earn money without jeopardizing their pension that they're already taking. And we sat through the experience presentation from GRS, who oversees our pension, and then also had to sit through actuarial plan.
Oh, those are fun.
Yep, actuarial 101 is what we had to do.
If you didn't invite the rest of us to that?
No, I decided to take the hit for the team.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm still reeling from it, so just remember that.
Chairman of the pension board for a long time. That was.
You were.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's somewhat torturous, but they did do a good job of making it as entertaining as they possibly could. It takes a special person to want to even work in that field.
Yes.
So we appreciate the support that they give the county. Then lastly, NRAT, Environmental Natural Resources, Agriculture and Tourism, met last Friday via Zoom. That's through MAC. And we had a presentation from MAC Pro for Michigan Parks, their CEO, Nicole Fisher, and then a couple individuals from Ottawa Parks talked about funding that they're doing over there. So that's all the Holland area. So you see a lot more money, I believe, generated to the western side of the state because of the sources that they have coming up that way. But it was real interesting to hear what they had to say about their parks and what they're doing. They're trying to get other counties involved, at least as far as becoming a member of that. So then that maybe gives them more accessibility to funding or at least other resources to have. And then they did discuss House Bill 5713, which is allowing the parks boards around the state potentially, if they choose to, it's not mandatory, reduce their board from 10 to 7 members. So that's just because apparently, some northern communities, not necessarily us, have issues with keeping enough members on that board to make it official.
It makes more sense to have an odd number of people on a board than it does an even two.
Right. That's all I have.
Okay, good report. Thank you, Bill. Christine?
I had a CAPC meeting this morning and the baby pantry statistics were there was 72 families served in the month of January that had the impacted 175 children with 140 adults. Baby pantry, their volunteer outreach. They're looking for people and they had a generous donation of baby food formula and baby cereal. Child safety matters. Peck, Frostrick, Myers, Marlette, and Sandusky are completed with the program. CPS has been confirmed, but they're waiting on a schedule. Upcoming events, April is CAP month, wear your blue on April 10th. Community baby shower will be Thursday, April 30th. They already have 20 moms signed up and 13 vendors. And the youth empowerment camp was going to be moved from August to July. It'll be a July 23rd, and it's not, instead of being held out at Camp Caravel, it's going to be held here at Maple Valley. And then health department, they had an ACC diaper program, and that you can apply twice in 6 months, and you get 2 sets of, which breaks down to 2 sets of 3 months worth of diapers and wipes. They talked about Eagle and PFOBs in the one neighborhood that they had found some PFOBs. Well, now another house has tested, so they're going to check again to see if they were just above the level for that. So they're going to, that was tested by Eagle. Life expectancy in the U.S. has reached an all-time high of 79 years. Women, 81.4 years, and men, only 75.8 years.
6 years now? Yep, which is working us to death.
What are we at, 75?
75.8.
Yeah, they're 81. That's 6 extra years left. No, you
I
don't.
got 5.81 years left. That's it. I better have fun.
The web,
Get on with this report. What's
Yeah,
going on?
this is
Tell us some
so
good
much
stuff.
for the sunshine, Bill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
the website, they're looking to tweak it goodbye. They have to be ADA compliance by 2027 on the website, and they're looking to add a dashboard to it so that you can check things out more. They renew the health officer's contract, and they also renew the lease, the rental.
Christine, at the CAPC and the Child Safety Matters program, they discussed the districts that they've completed. I know there's some districts that are like somewhat cautious about that program. Did they discuss getting those districts involved in that?
Well, one district is, I'll tell you up front, Brown City. And I've been on the superintendent a couple of times. And they says they shared a lot of information with him, but he has not committed yet. So the next time I see him, I'm gonna put a little thumb on him to, this is a good program. We have all these schools that are doing it, and
I know the Save Millage Board's concept in funding that was they really wanted to get all the districts
Yeah,
involved. And I
yeah.
guess what I'm curious about is if a district doesn't want to do it, I would like to know why. It seems like a good program, but
Yeah.
if they would give us, if they don't want to, it'd be nice to know why, because
Yeah.
maybe we could adjust the program in
Right.
some way. So I guess if you hear any more on that, or, let me know, I would appreciate
I'm
it.
gonna talk with him and see
Okay.
why he's holding up on it, or.
Okay. And I think there might even be a district in my area that's the same
Yeah,
thing. If they're
yeah.
giving us I wouldn't say a hard time, but if they're not wanting to do it, I would like to have a discussion with them to understand why.
And I told him, I says, well, this school had it, this school, talk to their principals, talk to their superintendent and see,
Right.
exactly what was being done and whatever, and how it's being perceived, and
Okay.
so.
Very good. Thank you. I myself, as Gary said, personnel met this morning, and we approved a posting to fill the juvenile register position. Everybody will see that on finance in 2 weeks. Commissioner Moody and I met in policy and move forward an overtime comp time policy change that everybody will see on finance in 2 weeks as well. That's all I have. Evans?
I have no committees.
Okay, John?
A few weeks ago, I had dispatch. Didn't give the report last meeting because I didn't have all the statistics I wanted to give you. So I'm gonna do it today. Their Mevo kit should be in March. That's their 911 service that they can basically take anywhere. They have one spot, one part-time opening right now. They actually have 5 applications for that spot. So I think they were gonna be doing some interviewing shortly. They had a very good state compliance audit. Just a couple very minor things that they were able to fix right away. This afternoon or today at finance, we have a 911 simulator thing that they have on here for their training. We'll see that later on. And then their statistics for 2025 as follows. Non-emergency phone calls. They had 116,000 non-emergency phone calls. There were 11,200 911 calls. And surprisingly, I thought this was kind of neat. 108 were from a text. So they're able to take text 911 calls. There were 14 fire runs, 5,553 EMS runs for the year, 23,791 police calls, which the sheriff's office handled 14,935 of those. And so for total police, fire, and EMS calls, there were 38,689 calls. And that's the end of my report.
That's almost a call per person in our county.
That texting, if I remember, Todd, will come about, what, 3-4 years ago, if there was an active shooter in the home, they didn't have to call because it was an issue.
Get down the phone.
So it's a good deal.
There were 108 this year, though, that used that.
Very good. Good report, John. Thank you. That's going to conclude the committee reports. Appreciate everyone's report. I see no unfinished business, so that's going to move us directly into new business today. And today we're going to start out with FA 029-26, approval of current claims.
San Luis County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the payment of current claims identified on the accounts payable report dated February 10th, 2026 for the general bank account in the amount of $96,055.05.
Support.
I have a motion from Finance Chairman Sarkella, support from Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Next up is FA 030-26, budget adoptions, amendments, appropriations, and transfers.
San Luis County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the following amendments and establishes the following accounts as listed.
I have a motion from Finance Chairman Sarkella, support from Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 031-26, approval of additional general fund bank account checks charged to January 2026.
San Luis County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the payment of additional general fund bank account checks charged to January 2026 as follows. $1,381,014.48 in ACH payments, $257,950.96 in checks, for a total of $1,638,967.44.
I have a motion from Finance Chairman Sarkella, Vice Chairman Ballard. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Next up is FA 032-26, authorization to fill Forester Park Manager position.
San Luis County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes the posting and filling of the Forester Park Manager position at pay grade 6.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Sarkella, support from Commissioner Moody. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 033-26, authorization and award bid for demolition.
San Luis County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes an award bulk contract demolition of a home in Brown City that was initially projected as rehabilitation project at a cost not to exceed $16,600, funded through land bank budget and reimbursed by a state land bank grant, and further authorize Sand Lake Economic Development Corporation, Samantha Schnettler, Executive Director, to sign the necessary contract.
Or I have a motion from Commissioner Sarcella, supported by Commissioner Ehart. Is there any discussion?
I have a question for Nathan. At one time here a month or so ago, we talked about there may be some money left over from these two for another house here possibly in Sandusky. Is that still on the table or?
Yeah, we are working with, we're working with the city and Mr. Favor, and he did get the documentation over and his staff did for that additional house in town, the old music house, yes. So everything's intact and that they're moving forward with that.
Yes, thank you.
Leslie, I lost my place, so I call for a vote.
You have not.
Okay. Any further discussion related to FA 033-26? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 034-26, authorization and award for environmental and asbestos testing.
Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners are authorized and award environmental testing and consulting ETC to conduct environmental and asbestos testing for a home scheduled for demolition at 5331 Elk Street, Peck, Michigan, at a cost not to exceed $3,280, funded through the land bank budget and reimbursed by the state land bank grant.
Support.
I have a motion from Finance Chairman Sarcella, supported by Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Last up today, we have FA 035-26, and that is approval of the 2027 budget for Sand Lake Transportation.
Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the Sand Lake Transportation's 2027 budget as presented.
Support.
A motion from Commissioner Sarcella, support from Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Anytime we have new faces in the room, I always like to say we just approved 7 items. Didn't see a lot of discussion about those items. And the reason for that is that one of those 7 items was reviewed by the Finance Committee 2 weeks ago.
And we are the finance committee.
And we are the Finance Committee. Stick around for the Finance meeting. It's right after this one. That's where all the magic happens. That'll conclude new business. So now I'm going to call for general public comments. Are there any general public comments today?
John, I have one I forgot. Leslie, if you.
You're not public.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, figures has to do with food.
So, Paul Smith, belongs to the Sand Lake Spartans Club. They're having a fish fry this Friday night at 4 o'clock to 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Leslie, I don't know if you want to hang that up by your
that at?
office or. Okay. So,
To be the Sand Lake Sportsman's Club in Deckerville.
Okay.
I forgot about it earlier.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, you're in the polar opposite end of the
Yes.
county.
Not fish.
Dead fish.
The edible kind though.
Edible.
I have one thing I should have mentioned in my committee, in the committee segment, Sand Lake County Community Mental Health has, I believe it's 3 openings on the board. There's 3 different categories. There's, I believe it's family member, client, or general public. And so if there's anybody out there, you know of anybody, I know they would kind of like to find somebody from Christine's area down in Brown City area. The rest of the county, they kind of try to spread that out.
Mhm.
But so yeah, if anybody knows of anyone, they go to the website, Sand Lake County Community Mental Health, and the information.
It's right there on the website.
It should be, it was in the paper, but not everybody reads paper.
Seems to be less and less all the time.
Yeah. Yep.
Very good. Any further general public comments? Seeing none, we are going to move on. There's no need for closed session or approval of closed session minutes. So if there's nothing further to come before the Board of Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn today's meeting, 1:33.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Ballard, supported by Commissioner Sarcella, to adjourn at 1:33. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
No, you can stay out, but listen.